Am I the asshole? For telling my SIL to find another provider because I'm not it? My SIL has always called me a disgrace and talked about how men are providers. She has repeatedly told me this and tried to shame me for having a better education and job than my husband. My husband's family is Mexican immigrants and my SIL lives in Mexico and has a Mexican husband. She recently fled the house looking for someone to stay with. My in-laws live in another state, but my sister with her 3 children came to us instead. We live in a small house in San Diego that was my grandma's. My in-laws live close to Houston. My husband was not home when his sister arrived and I sent her away. When she showed up on my doorstep, I told her to go find another provider because I'm not it. My husband heard and came home from work and I told him that he had to pay for her hotel and plane tickets out of his money to our in-laws' place. He and his family have been pissed at me. His sister has constantly bullied me for over 10 years for dumbest things like not making my man a plate. I have never liked her or her ex. I do not want her in my home and I wasn't having it because she has no damn money because of her own stupidity of being a wifey. I refuse to support her and now my husband's family is saying he should leave me and stay in Houston. I told him he can choose his sister over me and if he's not back in 24 hours I'm throwing his shit on the street and letting the homeless take it. I've made the mistake of opening my home and wallet for extended family who didn't respect me, thinking the olive branch would help. I can't explain why, but does is make them hate you more and feel entitled to your money. When you eventually want to stop and let them stand on their own feet, they resentful than they ever were. Hard not the asshole from me. Letting people who don't respect you as a person in your home is a mistake 100% of the times I've seen it done. If the other option were homelessness for the kids, that's different. But they have family in Houston and they're probably better off there. Info: where is he now that he is be back in 24 hours? Not the asshole. Don't let them stay with you. You'll never be able to evict them in California. If you're really serious about kicking out the husband, move his stuff to storage and serve him with eviction papers. Not the asshole. Sure, everyone's going to tell you, you should have taken her in because she was fleeing DV. But you know if she had gotten in your house she would have made your life a living hell. You open that door and it will take a sheriff's order to close it again. Not the asshole. Info: by fled the house, do you mean a domestic violence situation? Not the asshole. Change the locks. Not the asshole. As per SIL logic, it's not on you to provide for her. It's on Phil and your husband and any male siblings family she has. Which is not you. You aren't a man. You don't provide, as she said. I assume you help pay the bills in the home she expected to be allowed to stay at, rent-free with free range of the food and utilities. Nah. You husband and Phil can handle her expenses. I had a sister-in-law and kid and dog show up after she destroyed her marriage. They only asked to stay for a month. Longest 2 years of that decade. Not the asshole. You don't need to be disrespected by backwards ass people. Not the asshole. Why should you have someone who denigrates you in your home? Not the asshole. She could go to her in-laws but came to you instead despite constantly criticizing. No thanks. It's been 4 days. He's made his choice. Your marriage won't recover from this point. Yeah, so you told him what you're gonna do, so with that information he can make his decision. That's not the decision I would have given him. Just ask him, paper or plastic? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You don't owe her anything. I had a SIL who was an absolute bitch to me. She never asked me for any favors, but if she had, it would have been wasted effort on her part. People are feeling sorry for your husband. I don't. He should have been on your side from the get-go. Why does he think it's okay that his sister has bullied you for 10 years? Has he ever defended you against her bullying? If not, you're better off without him. Not the asshole. She bit the hand that she might need to feed her one day. Just the demand that you support her is the nastiest form of privileged attitude abuse. Hubby better think really carefully. Info: when SIL has attacked you in the past, did hubby defend you, or counterattack her, or keep silent? That might tell you the answer, but it might not be the answer you want. Not the asshole. No freaking way would I allow someone who has openly disrespected me for a decade to move in, let alone with 3 kids. His sister, his problem to deal with. She will be happier in TX anyway, they are into that trad wife BS. Nta? I agree, disrespect gets matched with disrespect. Not the asshole. 10 years of disrespect and then you expect me to provide shelter? Hell no. Not the asshole. Past victim of DV here. First of all, your SIL and her kids deserve a safe place to live. That doesn't mean it has to be your place. There are women's shelters that specialize in caring for DV victims and provide services to help them find a life away from their abuser. You are under no obligation to allow someone who disrespects you into your home, regardless of who tries to guilt trip you into it. At the most, provide her with a list of places she can contact. It's up to her to take that next step. Secondly, my brother said some vile things about my husband. I let brother know he is no longer allowed in my house, and there is absolutely nothing my family can say that will change that. No one gets to speak to the love of my life like that and expect to just waltz in here like nothing happened. My point being, if you are not your husband's one priority, then you have some thinking to do. She can stay with her family. She's been a bitch to you, she doesn't have to stay. Contact a lawyer and start the divorce process. You have to show him that you're serious, otherwise he will walk all over you. You can always call it off. Do your SIL would act entitled and disrespect you in your own home? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Hess pulling a FAFO. Please update us in 24 hours. I want to know if Hess come back. But please remove your money from any shared accounts now. Info: why did SIL come to you instead of in-law's home? Honor what you said and give him the boot. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You aren't obligated to be anyone's provider, much less someone who treated you badly for a decade. And if your husband hasn't been defending you through that decade, then he's better off with his sister and out of your hair anyway. Not the asshole. Not the asshole.